Hi, everyone, and welcome to our fifth episode of the Estafet for Earth Association. And today I am very happy to welcome our dear Sergio from Brazil. So I'm very happy to see you and to thank you so much also for spending some time for this and talking with us. How
I'm
are you
glad to be.
doing today?
I'm glad to be here.
Correct.
Very, very good to see you again.
Yes,
And
always good to
very
see you.
happy to be in this project.
Correct. Introduce yourself, your name, where you're from, and where do you live now?
Okay, my name is Sergio Baumel. I was born in São Paulo, Brazil, and now I live in another state in Brazil, Espírito Santo, in the city of Vila Velha, which is by the sea, a very, very good place to live.
Right. Amazing. And so, Sergio, tell us what is your education or training or your profession? Because we'll talk about regression later, but is there anything that, your education from before or a profession?
Yes, well, that would be a not so short answer because, well, first, I am a physician, a medical doctor, and I specialize in neurology and intensive care medicine. And later, I decided to study a bit more about psychotherapies in general, and including hypnosis and regression therapy. So I went on to graduate also in psychology, and I did my master's degree in psychology, and presently I am in the middle of my doctorate course. So I'm, if everything goes right, I'm going to be a doctor, MD, PhD.
You must go on. So you continue
Yes,
with your education.
and there's so much to learn. We can never stop.
Yeah.
Always lots to learn. And today I work my practice in my private office. I used to work in hospitals in the ICUs, but now I'm not doing that. I'm just on my office, both as a neurologist and as a psychologist doing psychotherapy.
All right. So you practice all of those things together.
Mhm.
Wonderful. And how did you come as a doctor, as a professional doctor? How did you come to regression therapy?
Well, that was a long story. Um, um, in fact, the first contact I had was from books. I read. I had some contact with Umbanda. That's Afro-Brazilian religion that deals with mediumship, and they speak about reincarnation there.
Mhm.
But still, it didn't convince me that much because of all the information was coming from the mediums. So um, at first, I really believed it because I thought they're not gaining anything, that there was no money involved and so on.
Mhm.
Other religions always have money involved, but that one didn't have. But then and I thought, well, if they're not gaining anything, why are they saying and doing such things? So it must be true. But anyway, I went there sometimes, and I saw that there was some gain, some psychological gain. The mediums that got the most loved spirits to talk, they were treated differently in that community. So I stepped back. But then I came across the books from Brian Weiss, uh, many masters, many lies, and only love is real, and so on. And he had a story very similar to mine. He was a complete skeptic, Jewish, I'm Jewish, and 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 he worked with hypnosis, and people got talking about. So I went on to study that, and I began to do experimentally my own practice. I didn't charge for that. I was experimenting with it. Most like almost every one of the pioneers, they went experimenting. So I did the same. I went there and experimented. And then I went deeper and deeper. And then I had my uh, hypnosis course, Ericksonian hypnosis. And still some people said, you're not graduated for that and so on. So I had to study with Brian Weiss
Mhm.
in the United States. And then I started participating on the congresses, Earth congresses, and then I joined those.
Great. Which year was that? Did you join Earth? Do you remember?
That was really recent. I think it was in the Congress in India, I think, or one before that. It was Turkey and then India.
Yes.
Yes. No, that was Turkey and then Portugal
It might have
and
been
then
in Portugal then, yes, because India was more recent. Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I joined in the Congress in India or in Portugal. I don't really remember. But it's very recent. I was mingling with you on us without being a member. But then I said, well, let's because first of all, yes, it was in India because first of all, we in Portugal we decided to group the physicians, the medical doctors that give regression therapy, and we formed the SMART, the Society for Medical Advanced and so on. And he got that going. And then as we did some things and then we were stopping, the purpose was, well, if you want to go on, this will become a part of Earth. So if you want to stay with this group, you have to become part of Earth. So I did join Earth later because of that.
Right. And we're very happy to have you as a member. Huh?
I'm really happy to be here.
So tell me more about your practice. How do you implement regression therapy in your psychology practice also? What do you prefer? What works for you? What is most beneficial you find?
Yes, well, because I came from first experimenting with regression therapy
Mhm.
and then doing the Ericksonian hypnosis course and so on, and then doing graduation psychology, I did exactly the opposite. I became, first I just did regression therapy. And then I added some other things to my practice in regression. So it's not just only regression, but I do therapy as a whole. And I use regression as one of many tools I would use into my therapy practice.
All right. And what about yourself? Have you had any benefit from regression therapy for yourself and your life?
Well, yes, not really directly, because I am the kind of person who doesn't see very much in the regression. Just get these feelings. So every time somebody did regression with me, uh, I just got the feelings, or sometimes one flash.
Mm-hmm.
Never a full story.
All right.
Maybe it's not for me to know, but some things I did elaborate, and what what it was most important for me is learning from the experiences of other people, and making ends meet, because when you see many stories, one story, it is partial, but you see many stories, and you understand the pattern, and that gave me a certainty about spiritual things that I didn't have before.
Mhm.
I was really in a very long period of my life as a skeptic. I didn't believe anything spiritual. I was not even curious. Then I got curious, and then this whole thing fit. So today I'm pretty sure that these things happen really, and they are true. And when you get that, you change your values. The values I had in my life were attached to the viewing of the universe. And when you discover, well, no, this is not the first, and not neither the first nor the last time you're being here, and you're continuing, and purposes to your life, to your existence. So every time I learn a little bit more, and this gives me peace, inner peace, that I didn't have when I was younger.
Beautiful. Is there any interesting story from your practice, from like regression session that you could share with us?
Well, there was, but well, one of them is in the book we did with Smart. One of the chapters I wrote was about relationships.
Mhm.
And this patient of mine, she was a person, a very pretty person, young and intelligent. She's a teacher, but she couldn't get to relate to men. She wanted to, she was willing to have relationships, but she couldn't get to it. She had done therapy before, and there were some issues with her mother and father who had separated, and her mother was very straight thought thinking, and she kept saying that men cannot be trusted, and so on and so on and so on. But then when she did the regressions, and it was unusually long, the treatment, because we
Mhm.
had to she didn't believe anything like that. She was like Protestant, and very straight, narrow-minded in that way. But then she did see some things from past, and then she got the things. It took a little bit more, but then after a long time of treatment, and I said, okay, go live your life. If you want, you can come back. And she came back sometimes, and we did some more therapy. But then some years later, I got the wedding invitation.
Nice.
She was getting married, so she couldn't have any relationship, not even friends who were married. And then I got the invitation. She was getting married, so I went there to the marriage, and by myself. I sat alone in the midst of every everybody else in the public, and they were saying the vows. And he said something I can't remember, and she said, because during our therapy, in one of the first, not the first to see, but the first chronological lines that she saw, she was a young girl who believed in love, and her friend didn't. Said no. The friend said, "No, this is not. This is false. This is just illusion." And but she kept saying, "No, I believe I will find someone." But then she was forced to marry an older, uh, disgusting man, and then she lost the. She didn't believe in love anymore,
Right.
and over lives, she kept doing the same thing, the same mistake, and couldn't get love. Um, but then at the wedding, she looked at her fiance and saying her vows. She said, "Well, thank you so much for making me believe in love again." But then she turned her face directly to me
Mhm.
and sent me a kiss.
Oh,
And at that time, I knew if lightning struck me and I was dead, I was happy because I did one thing good to one person. That was the most emotional, most beautiful moment in my life.
it's beautiful.
It's
I'm
very,
having
very,
goosebumps too. Beautiful. So now, as we're moving closer to the end of this, is there, with your extensive experience in therapy and as a doctor and as a member of Earth, do you have any message for your fellow Earth members and therapists?
well, yes, yes. There's a message I could really talk about right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Even we who believe and see this happening and know that we incarnate and disincarnate and reincarnate, and that life keeps going on, even among us, there are very lots of people who are afraid of some things and see others as enemies. And this is something that we can't do. There are no enemies. I'm reaching the conclusion each and every time, day after day, that it's more like what the Buddhists say, that what our Occidental religions say. We are not separate. We're not individuals. We're ultimately the same person, living lots of different experiences, and every suffering that we have, from the smallest to the greatest, are really not real. They are experiences like if you were an actor or an actress in a play. You go there and you suffer and you laugh and you cry and so on. And then when the play ends, it ends. You're not that person. You will be another, but you will not be that person. We are the same people. So we don't have enemies. Even those we think, oh, but this person, like Adolf Hitler, he got millions and millions of people. He killed millions and millions of people just because they were Jewish. I'm Jewish. I can't hate Hitler because I am him. Not that I had lived that incarnation, but we are the same. When we do things that cause damage to others, we do because we believe we are right. Nobody does it because, oh, I want to do things really, really bad because I want to be a bad person because this is what. No, people think they are right. Or they have the right to do it because they were abused or so on. And people have their trajectories, but we are the same, we are one. So let's keep that in mind and not be afraid. We're all going to die. Yes, but no, nobody dies. What are we afraid of? Oh, because of this, because of that, because of this, because of that. Maybe we're going to explode this planet. There are unsurmountable number of planets in the universe. There are people everywhere. And when we are free from the flesh, we are going to go wherever we have to go. I hope we don't destroy this planet. It's a very beautiful planet. But this planet will end sometime eventually. Our sun will go nova and engulf everything. And if it doesn't, we are going to go down the hole in the black hole that's in the center of our galaxy. So we don't have to. Oh, of course, let's take care of each other. Let's take care of the animals, the plants, the earth itself, the water, and so on. But let's do our job. Each one of us do our job. And some people are not just there yet. They're also going to die, and so on. If everybody does what he or she believes is the best, do it. Do it always having love in mind.
In mind, yeah.
Love is the answer, is the way. Like in Christianity, Jesus said, well, there's only one commandment. Love, love and nothing more. If you love, you're doing right. And that's my message. Just keep
Thank
loving.
you.
You.
Wonderful, very beautiful, Sergio. Thank you so much. And just to wrap it up and to get to my last question, in the last video, I started a new tradition for this project. And so I asked the previous person, which was Yasmin from Turkey, has asked you a question as the next person in line to do this interview. And so the question to you from Yasmin was, how do you manage to stay such a vibrant and kind person?
I manage. I try. Sorry, I try. Of course, I'm human. I also have some moments where I'm not so kind and not so. But I think I've answered before because every decision I have, when I come to a decision, I try to think, what is the most livable thing to do? Love to the others and love to myself.
Mhm.
And that's how I manage, but I don't manage so well. I'm still human. I have my bad qualities too.
but we know you as a very vibrant and kind person. So
Thank you.
thank you so much, Sergio. It was very wonderful to have you. And so let's get to the end of these, and you get to name the next person that will be next to be interviewed, and also you can ask a question to that person that I will ask them later.
Okay. I would like to have you interview Mário Simões in Portugal. I think he's the person who we don't really see talking much.
Mm.
So I'd like to know more about him.
All right.
And what I really wanted to know about him, I guess it's a question you will anyway you will ask him because it's part of the questions. Is I'd like to know how did he get to this? How
Mm.
did he go from medicine to regression therapy, and how was what were the details of this trajectory that got him to such knowledge? And that's it.
Great. I will definitely ask that question because it is on the list. Great. Thank you so much, Sergio. It was a great pleasure to have you all the way from Brazil, and to see you as well. It's a great pleasure. Thank you so much for your time and your presence and your knowledge, and for your sharing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I hope we can meet in person.
Yes, I hope very soon. Yes.
Maybe in the next Congress.
Yes, that'll be great. Thank you. All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching this. Thank you to Sergio, and I hope you enjoy this, and I will see you in the next interview. Bye, everyone.